and welcome to another episode of Wedflics. Today on the programme I meet Charlotte of Maisie Darling Bridal Boutique. Now Charlotte definitely knows how to time things, launching her brand and business during a worldwide pandemic. But she's ready to open her doors to brides-to-be on the 12th of April, and my goodness, has this lady got a lot to offer in her beautiful gem of a store. Let's meet her. Hi Charlotte, and welcome to the Wedflics show. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you so much for having me. It's lovely to chat to you.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. So everybody, this is Charlotte Anderson-Dilkes. She is of Maisie Darling Bridal Boutique, and she's based in Lutterworth in Northamptonshire. She joins us today as an Unveiled Network member. She's been in the network since we set it up, and she's been in the bridal trade for just over a year. What a year to set up, Charlotte.
I know. The one thing I'm clinging to is that someone said to me, if you can survive the COVID year, you can survive. So that's what I keep telling myself.
Yeah, both kind of generally and in business, I guess. Oh God, that's black humour now. We're at that level, I think. So I tell you what, Charlotte, why don't you introduce yourself and your business, Maisie Darling?
Thank you. So hello, everybody. I'm Charlotte, and I'm the owner of Maisie Darling Bridal Boutique. And as Julia said, we're based in Lutterworth, and we specialise in British bridal designers. So everything in our boutique is British designed, which we love.
I love that. So how did you get into bridal? We just heard that you just set up last January the 30th, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I just received a lovely little gift through the post from Charlotte. I should have been sending you birthday presents, but instead I think she was sending them out to everyone she's kind of connected with this year. A lovely little #1 biscuit, which my children are currently being bribed with. It's beautiful. But yeah, why did you decide to go into bridal? Obviously you didn't know the pandemic was coming.
No, I didn't. So prior to having the boutique, I have been a teacher for 15 years, and I worked in the performing arts industry at a specialist performing arts college and loved it. But as a teacher, I kind of felt like I was coming to the end of my career there. And when I first left school, I wanted to go either teaching and performing arts or into bridal. So it kind of happened organically, I suppose. Teaching ended and I went into bridal. Everybody always says to me it's such a change, but I don't think that it is that much. The performing arts is all theatre and being on a stage and costumes and glamour, and it kind of was just a sidestep. And I get to work with adults now instead of teenagers, which is a joy, actually. So
so I'm guessing you don't do bridesmaids?
No, not at the moment.
Well, maybe hold that thought, what you just said about the teenagers.
Yeah.
I know what you mean about bridal. I think that's why I loved it. I always loved, it's funny for someone to say I was either going to do teaching or bridal, because you think, well, how did you know that you would want to do bridal? But I think it's a love that kind of comes from within. And I don't know whether it's, starts as a child, if you've been to an amazing wedding and, felt the excitement of that day and seen, the couple in all their finery, and it just kind of gets under your skin. Was that what it was for you, or how did it come about for you?
So I remember being a child and always being fascinated by wedding dress shops and the dresses in the window. I don't know what it was, I just absolutely adored it. And my favourite part of a wedding is when the groom first sees the bride. I don't look at the bride, I look at the groom, because I just think how he feels is in that second when he sees her. And so to know that then now I can support brides to feel confident and be exactly who they want to be on the day, it just makes it really special and really completes it for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. It is magical, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked in bridal now for 10 years and I am still super excited, to visit one of my boutique partners. I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to I'm real kind of toucher in the boutiques who might be slightly irritating, but I like to, like get amongst the dresses, get them out, have a look, get them on a model.
Yeah,
I absolutely love bridal fashion, and I know what you mean about that moment when the couple see each other on the aisle or wherever, however they work, whether it's a first look or however they do it. It's really super special, isn't it? My favorite moment, just while we're throwing favorite moments in, is definitely like the confetti moment.
oh.
But I think that's from childhood. It's interesting. It's kind of what I've said it before, I have to hold back from sharing too many confetti shots as our lead image on our platforms, because otherwise it gets a bit samey. But it's just that iconic shot, and it's hard to recreate that feeling of, oh, we've done it,
Yeah, I love the confetti. And also, now with all the colours, and it just looks beautiful. I love it.
It's gorgeous. I'm still into, if it was biodegradable, obviously, I'm still into the kind of the hearts and horseshoes and stuff.
Yeah.
I like a bit of retro.
Yeah.
So, like wanting to go into bridal and actually doing it are two very different things. So how did you kind of fill in the gap with your knowledge from having this idea to actually opening the doors?
Yeah. So I tried to do it 6 years ago. And opening a bridal boutique isn't just the same as opening, well, I suppose it is similar to opening another shop, but the investment that you put in is quite a large investment. Mm-hmm. And so the first time round, I just couldn't make it work in the way that I wanted it to work. I had real designers that I wanted to work with, and I wanted it to be in a certain location, and I did masses and masses of research, and I went to in the wedding fairs when there used to be big events with the runways, and I went to loads of those so that I could see the dresses and how the designers worked, and so it then just had to be banked for a little bit. But I think that was the best thing, because I could continue with the research. I knew that it was what I wanted to do. I could do market research in the way of going to other boutiques and see how they did things. And so it wasn't just a snap decision in that, oh, tonight I'm going to be a boutique owner. So
it was almost like I guess a hobby.
Yes.
That then you built on it, but with the end goal in mind.
Yes.
So you built on it and gathered all that knowledge.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. So from that initial vision 6 years ago with those designers that you were interested in then, have you realised that, or has it changed?
I've realised most of it. The only one that's changed that breaks my heart still is Ian Stewart.
Oh yeah, okay, me too actually.
Yeah,
that's a really sad one, because Ian's, for anyone who doesn't know of Ian Stewart, perhaps if you're coming to your bridal journey, fresh in your gown shopping for the first time, which is what it should be like, really, if you're not weird like me and Charlotte. Ian Stewart is a really iconic bridal designer who creates the big kind of frothy gowns of, what's the material, like silk tulle or organza? What is it that his kind of shot silk it was, wasn't it? That
it was just stunning.
Like literal works of art. He's stopped trading now, so that's really sad for the industry, but it was a very special invitation to get to go to his Blue Coat boutique in the heart of Victoria, and he's a really fabulous guy. So Ian, if you're watching, we miss you, and we'll hope to see you soon. But so tell you what then, what designers are you stocking in your boutique?
So I stock Alan Hanna and the sister brand Mia Mia. I stock Lynn Ashworth. I stock House of Mushki. And then I've just started, before this lockdown, I now have Kelsey Rose, which is a ready-to-wear label. Very nice.
So your labels really are, they're like, they speak to like an English country wedding, don't they?
Yes. Apart from my House of Mushki, which are obviously the vintage style label.
So I would have thought House of Mushki is quite a sort of English country wedding style.
Yeah, so They are English country, but then also you can go as wacky or as alternative as you want with mushki. That is the reason that I picked them. I love vintage and I love alternative, but there is kind of no boundaries with mushki. So a bride can fully customize the dress in terms of the colour, the length, the design. There's no boundaries, which is just wonderful.
Yeah, that's super cool. I have to say, of the labels you mentioned, I am a real Alan Hannah fan.
Oh.
So I was an Alan Hannah bride. So,
were you?
Yeah, so that's like the biggest kind of tick in the box, isn't it? But yeah, I wore a really quite simple gown called All That Jazz. So it's like a strapless ruche to the side with a swoosh of Duchess silk satin.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. What a gorgeous gown to wear.
Yeah, they are wonderful. That I just love them. They're just so lovely to work with as well. Yeah,
they're absolutely lovely, aren't they? Marguerite's the designer and Alan is the business mind behind the business. And what a fabulous label, and their sister label Mia Mia as well. It's just stunning, a little bit fresher, perhaps a little bit younger in its vibe, I think.
Yeah.
And Kelsey Rose is another great label. So you've got a really good mix there.
Yeah,
and Lynn Ashworth as well. I shouldn't forget Lynn Ashworth.
Yeah, she is very, very English country garden bride. Mm-hmm. They're just beautiful. The fabrics are absolutely stunning.
Yeah, so I've had the pleasure of going to see Sarah in her atelier, and it's just such a lovely experience in the middle of the countryside, and it's just everything you'd expect from that bridal service. What lovely labels you have in your boutique. So why don't you describe the look and feel of your boutique then? I think we know which way we're going.
So it's a very intimate boutique. It's not overly big. It's very, I suppose it is quite vintagey. And I tried really hard to create an atmosphere that just felt like somebody was coming home. So it's really girly, friendly. There's kind of little trinkets and bits and bobs everywhere. Everybody always comments that it smells really nice. I try to have like incense and things like that. So yeah, I try to make it as welcoming as possible.
So talking of Ian Stewart, that was one thing about Ian's blue coat. Did you ever go to his blue coat boutique in London? So it smelled incredible. As soon as you walked in, you were hit like with all senses. So it was like beautiful to look at and gorgeous smell, and it just smelled of girly luxury. And it's really interesting you say that, and that was one of your favorite brands, because it's so important that all those senses are met during the bridal experience, and that your customers come away kind of feeling like they've had that amazing day. That's so what's the process like then for a bride coming to see you? How does she find you first of all, and then how does she go from there?
So I'm on the social media channels, and
drop it in there.
So Maisie Darling Bridal on social media, and we also have our website, which is maisiedarling.co.uk. And I'll have a bit of a conversation with brides, see what they're looking for, tell them a bit about the boutique. And if they choose to book a appointment, we do that. And I send them a kind of a questionnaire, but it's not as formal as that, just to find out some more information about them before they come. Mm-hmm. Some questions about their ideas for the wedding, the kind of feel, and just so that I know when they come into the boutique. And then when they come in, we have another chat, just again to find out a little bit more about what they are like, how they're feeling about the process, to try and get rid of any nerves, because some brides are quite nervous, and I don't want them to be. I want them to feel as relaxed as they can. And then we try lots and lots of dresses on and go from there.
I think it's interesting you say about the nerves, because I think even the most confident girl, when she's going to pick like the dress, there's a lot of pressure on that moment, which has been hyped. I mean, I wouldn't want to dispel that pressure, because it's kind of fun at the same time, that expectation and that special purchase of your life, it piles the pressure on, so it can amp up the nerves, but it also it's what it's all about at the same time. I think even the most confident girl would feel a sense of anticipation when she comes into the bridal boutique for the first time. I mean, if you've been around 1,000 bridal boutiques and haven't made a decision, then that may be less exciting. But you know, that's why you need to go to the good ones who are going to help you find the right dress for you. So who is your boutique for? What sort of brides do you look after?
I look after anybody. There is no limits for me. So anybody that is looking for a wedding dress, it doesn't matter their age, it doesn't matter how many times they've been married before, if they have been married before. For me, it's kind of somebody that has a want to maybe be looked after. I know some brides don't, and that's absolutely fine, but I like to look after the brides and make sure that they're feeling supported throughout the whole journey. That is the most important thing, because like you said, there is a lot of pressure, and I try and take that away from them, try and really listen to what they're looking for, rather than just going in guns blazing with what I think that they should. It's not about me, it's about them and their style and their personality. So people that can relate to that, I think that's who I look for.
Yeah, that's lovely. That must be quite hard to do sometimes if you know a gown would look incredible on a girl and it's in keeping with the style of her wedding and XYZ. How do you kind of introduce that without being overly pushy?
So we tend to call it the Wildcard. Is it okay if you try on the Wildcard? Or some brides really like it if you say, do you mind if I give you my opinion or give you a suggestion? And then they're so shocked when they try this dress on and they just fall in love with it. And they say, how on earth did you do that? How did you know? And
everyone now who's watched this and comes to visit you afterwards is going to be like, show me the Wildcard, Charlotte, show me the Wildcard.
That's pressure on me now.
Oh, it is, but you love it, right? This is what you went into Bridal for.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling jealous, to be honest, is my takeaway emotion right now, because I'm married and we're not going to be renewing our vows anytime soon, and we're not going to be breaking up anytime soon either. So I'm not getting a wedding dress. So my probably most likely next shopping experience, rather than styling for, I suppose I get to do it with the magazine. So I guess I get to scratch that itch a bit. But the proper shopping experience, I guess, will be when my two little girls are, if they want to, getting married. And my goodness, am I going to have the choice of boutiques to take them to? But it's, I do feel a bit jealous of the ladies who are on this road. And I know that this year has been so tough for so many, and they've had to delay their weddings or sort of rethink their wedding plans around the situation that we're in with COVID. Hopefully when this goes live, we normally have about a month's wait between recording and going live. Hopefully when this goes live, it's going to be looking a lot more positive. I mean, fingers crossed, I don't want to jinx anything, but Charlotte should be open again. We're filming this during lockdown 3. And it should be, a roadmap to freedom. And so we should be looking ahead to the future. But I don't necessarily, if you've had to pause your wedding and wait, as long as you are going to get to have your big day and get married, it's not, you could silver line that and say it's not necessarily a bad thing, because you get to be the bride for longer. You get to eke out your bridal experience and enjoy it, and really enjoy every part of it and take your time. So you could look at it that way.
A lot of brides have said to me that actually they're really excited about the prospect of maybe having a much smaller wedding and then wearing their dress again and having a massive celebration. And they say, who's been able to do that, to wear it twice and really enjoy it? So absolutely.
I mean, you could also have 2 dresses.
Now that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I mean, I think I would get to the point where I'd be like, right, I deserve the fashion here. So I've waited, I've been patient, I haven't been out, so I've saved X amount of money. So I'm going to spend the excess on my dress, on my second dress. But yeah, I mean, it is great to be able to do that whole rewear thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do like the idea of, so I'm kind of in 2 minds here. So I was a bride who wanted the big day. So I get it when the couples are wanting to, you know, have all their friends and family in the room and have the party and have the wow reveal at the end of the aisle, and, you know, florals everywhere and a proper, you know, British wedding party. I get that. And that would have been hard to let, if I'm being honest and putting myself back into those shoes, it would have been hard to let go of that concept for me, and there would have been a lot of tears shed, I'm sure. But with kind of my more experienced older hat on, I would say that it is an opportunity to have 2 days.
Yeah.
It is an opportunity to have a day that's really about you as a couple and about your really close friends and family. And that day is going to be so emotional and so special, and it could be super luxury as well. You know, you can have the florals and the cake and all the add-ons, and then have, and it doesn't have to be a party. I think that party word sometimes puts people off. You can then have your wedding again, so you don't have to miss out on the big wedding. You just have to delay that bit. It depends, I guess.
Yeah, I think it depends on the people as well, and the couple and what they're like. And if it was me, I'd have jumped at the chance of having a small intimate wedding, because I would have loved that. My husband wanted the big wedding, so that's kind of what we had. But I would have loved just nearest and dearest, and being able to just spend that time with everybody. I remember I was really conscious that I didn't have a chance to go and talk and spend time with everybody. So maybe I should have just had a weekend long wedding, and that would have been better. But
yeah, that is a good call, actually, to have that whole weekend celebration that you get longer to spend with the friends and family. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So for you, it would have been a little bit of a get out of jail free situation. And I think there are some people who are having that.
Yeah,
it is difficult though, because it's all very well for us to say, have your smaller wedding, and then obviously there's lots of pressure from families, or there's perhaps, you know, worries about, okay, well, we planned this wedding, but can it happen anyway? But I think from now on we are on slightly steadier ground, and then we're filming this just before we get the big, you know, roadmap announcement on the 22nd of February. We shall see. But I'm hopeful that there will be pointers, and, you know, it will start now to ease.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Yeah. So when a bride's in the boutique, then let's go back to the boutique. When a bride's in the boutique with you, and she has, do you give them kind of free rein to look? How do you do it?
Yeah, I don't put any restrictions on, so they can look as much as they want. They can touch, feel, because I think that's really important, to really get to find the fabrics that you love. I know some brides are really conscious of the weight of the dresses and all different things like that, so I let people touch and feel. They can try on as many dresses as they want. I'm a person that tried on loads because I couldn't have made a decision if I was limited. I'd have felt like I was missing out. So
I know what you mean.
So yeah, they can, the boutique is theirs. I only have one bride in at a time, so they can use that whole boutique and have an intimate experience.
And how long is the appointment?
So the maximum time kind of I allow is 3 hours, so that nobody feels rushed, nobody feels pressured. Most brides take 2. Most brides are there for 2 hours, and then we turn around and get ready for the next one.
I'm laughing to myself because I would have so been there for 3.
I know.
And like literally being like, okay, bye now. Bye now. Your appointment's over. Get out.
Yeah.
Oh, but can I just say amongst it? No, get out. So okay, so they pick their dress.
Yeah.
And what's next?
So if they found a dress that they love, they're saying it's the one. It will depend on the designer that the dress is. Kelsey Rose, they are the ready to wear, so they can take that away there and then. They've got their dress.
That's so handy as well nowadays. Yeah.
And some brides like that. You want to go out and just buy and it's done, and you've got it at home. The other designers, they're bespoke, made to order, so the bride would pay a deposit and then the dress would take it's normally around 2 to 3 months to arrive.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's hard to know which one I fall on with that, because I do like the whole kind of take it away. And do you still fit? You can still alter the Kelsey Rose, or is it more like off the peg?
So they buy off the peg, but they can be altered. My seamstresses will alter them if they need them to be. So
yeah. It's hard to know which one you'd go for there, but I do love the idea of having a bespoke gown made for you, especially, and that anticipation is lovely. And then I guess when it comes into boutique, you go back in for your fitting.
Yeah, that is so special. That point then when they try it on and it's theirs and it kind of fits better than the sample did, that is really lovely.
Yeah, it's a nice moment.
Yeah.
And then what about the alterations? You mentioned a seamstress.
Yeah, so I have 2 seamstresses that I work with, and I like to be with the bride throughout the whole journey. So the seamstress will come to my boutique, the brides have their fittings there, and then I get to see them once it's been altered and it fits them perfectly.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Yeah. And then does the bride take it away once it's ready? What happens then at the end?
It kind of depends on the bride and the timeline of their process. So if there's a long period of time, I am more than happy to store the dresses. If not, then the bride can take it away. We do offer the dressing service, and so we can bring the dress to the bride on the wedding day as well.
Yeah, so talk a bit about that. What is the dressing service and why is it good?
So basically, it's just me at the wedding in the morning, helping the bride to get dressed, so that I don't miss out on that bridal prep. It's an amazing part of the wedding. And I am literally the bride's dresser. So I will put her in her gown, I will do her up, fuss around with it to make sure she looks absolutely fabulous. There if she's got any worries or concerns, and then leave her to it.
Do you know what, guys watching this, don't underestimate that service, because on the wedding morning there's everything's going on. You're getting your hair and makeup done, your bridesmaids or bridesmen or whoever are getting themselves pampered, and people are dropping in with flowers and people are dropping in with champagne and people are just popping in to say hi. That vibe, it's really fun, but it's also quite crazy. Hair and makeup's a great time to catch a breather, by the way. And then it comes to the dress, and you do need to leave enough time to kind of get into the dress, particularly if there's lots of buttons to do. On an Alan Hannah gown, there's often lots of buttons to do. My goodness, do they hurt the fingers?
Crochet hooks, that's the trick.
Yeah, but that also takes skill. It's not like you can just pick one of those up and be like, oh yeah, I'm away with this. It's a tough job for chief bridesmaid or mum or whoever it is that's doing the dress. And I remember being made one for my friend. She had a gorgeous Philippa Letley gown that was laced underneath and then it was buttoned on top. And Philippa had provided a list of instructions, and you had to lace it exactly down the line of this card that went down the back of the dress. It had to be laced on the line, and then the buttons would go on the line. And anyway, I know it might have taken a bit longer for us all to get ready or whatever, but we were kind of up against it with getting Jane into her dress. And hope she's not watching, because it was her mum and I were doing this lacing. She was going, well, I don't trust anyone else to do it, and you guys do it and make sure it's on the line. Jules, is it on the line? And it was so far off the line, and Pauline was just going, shh, it's okay. And I was like, oh, it's on the line. Yeah. And it was quite stressful. And if we'd had you there, Charlotte, dressing, and someone used to working with the fabrics and the buttons and the gown and how it should work and fit, it would have really alleviated our anxiety that morning. I mean, she looked fine. The lacing was not on the line. She didn't look fine. She looked amazing. The lacing was on the fine. It's not okay. The lacing was on the line, not on the line. The lacing was not on the line, but she looked incredible. It was maybe a little bit of an over instruct, I think.
Yes.
But had we had you there?
Yeah, I think it just takes that pressure off, doesn't it? And I remember on my wedding day, you don't realise how long it takes to get into a dress and feel ready and okay, I can actually show everybody myself in this dress. It does take longer than you think. A quick 5 minutes, whip it on and I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also you don't want to get it dirty or makeup or whatever. It's quite a kind of time. So it is lovely to have someone there who knows what they're doing. I think that service, I would be snapping your hand off for that service if I were one of your brides. So yeah, it's exciting. It's just part of the luxury feel of everything, isn't it? That kind of, like you say, like the looking after process from start to finish.
And in this job, you get to know the brides so well. They become your friends, and then to be there with them on the wedding day is just so special. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's so nice. So we should talk a few facts and figures, because I'm sure there's some ladies really excited to come and meet you. What's your price range in the boutique?
So dresses start from £499, and that's the Kelsey Rose label. And then the bespoke dresses, they start from £1,299 and then go up.
So you really are really inclusive in terms of the pricing. It's great. Yeah. And what about sizing? I'm guessing it's the same.
Yeah, sizing, there is no minimum or maximum. We make the dresses to fit the brides.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so nice to hear. It's so nice to hear you don't even put a range on that.
No.
That's the first time I've ever heard anyone not put a range on at all.
I'm really, really passionate about this. I'm a bridal boutique, so I provide a wedding dress no matter what, anything the bride is. That's what.
Yeah. And that body kind of, I don't want to say issue, like the range of body sizes. It could be that you have an issue getting a dress that is small enough, or a dress that's large enough, or a dress that's high enough or low enough, or whatever. You know, it's fitting to you, and that's the beauty of an independent boutique, isn't it?
Definitely, because it's not just about size. We're all different heights and proportions, and so not one bride will ever fit in a dress the same way another bride does, and that's why the bespoke just works amazingly, because you can find the dress of your dreams because it can be made for you.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Yeah. It's just kind of, it's an extra confidence boost when they're coming in to see you. Yeah. For sure. Oh, I would be booking my appointment right now.
Oh, thank you.
I really would. Okay, so obviously opening during a pandemic was not the best, but you've been, getting your name out there and doing lots on the social medias and really kind of networking and establishing some great relationships. Is that been really integral to getting to meet your brides? How does it work for you?
So when the first lockdown hit, I remember somebody gave me a piece of advice that said, you still need to get yourself out there. Your shop might not be open, but you still need people to know who you are, so that once you can open, you're there. And I've kind of just gone in on that wholeheartedly. Whether it is just posting every day, or chatting to a bride that's worried about something, or speaking to other suppliers and seeing how I can support them. It's just, I've found a whole new circle of friends from that as well. And so we support each other. And I think that's what's been really important during the lockdown, that things don't stop just because my shop is closed.
No, it's amazing. And it's been a real learning curve, I think, in that sense, that we can all support each other through the toughest of times and through the best of times. And I think it's encouraging for someone who is going to come in and buy their dress with you, that you've put so much passion in, even when you're closed. So, I mean, what's it going to be like when you're open? I'm actually frightened for your customers, the level of customer service that they're going to be receiving. It's brilliant. So what's been your proudest moment then in the whole experience so far?
The proudest moment has to be when my first bride came and tried her actual dress on. And I can't tell you how sick I felt. It was the pressure of, I've ordered this dress, it's been made specifically for her, and she just sobbed and sobbed, and she just looked amazing. And you can't make that feeling up. It's amazing. I was so chuffed for her, and she felt confident. She was an older bride, it was her second marriage, and we'd become friends because we'd been talking this whole time, and she just said she felt wonderful in the dress, and that was great.
Yeah, that's what you want, isn't it? It's job well done. Perfect. And she got to have her wedding as well, right?
Yes, she got married in July.
Oh, brilliant. That's really nice. So it was actually after everything happened.
Yeah. So in that
period,
yeah.
Oh, that's so good. So we mentioned your contact details before.
Yeah.
But let's drop them in again. So if brides want to come and see you, well, chat to you in the meantime, but actually, like I say, I think you'll be open by the time this goes live. And it gives me a chance to, you know, just chill out on the editing a bit if I say that. By 2022, when this goes live. Only joking. I'm a fastidious editor. What's the best way of getting in touch with you?
So social media, probably. So Maisie Darling Bridal. But you can email me, and it's charlotte@maisiedarling.co.uk, or you can message me via my website.
Perfect. And what's your website address again? I'll drop it here.
It is maisiedarling.co.uk.
And before we go, I have to ask, why the name?
So my granny's name was Maisie Marling, and I didn't want a name that was traditionally bridal, because I don't feel like anything in the boutique is traditionally bridal. So she was the most vintage, glamorous woman I've met, and so it just felt apt to name it after her. And my surname is Dilkes, so I changed the Marling to Darling, and it sounded cute. So yeah, that's where it came.
It does sound cute. It sounds so cute. Do people call you Maisie?
Yes, and I answer to it, so it's fine.
Yeah, I knew they would. It's so funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really, really good name. I love the name Maisie Marling though. What a classy, cool name, eh?
Yeah, she was so glamorous.
Oh, well, that's just so nice. It's so nice that you've named it after her, and kind of that glamour lives on. I bet she's been a big influence to you in your love of bridal, like, you know, and theatre and dance and everything.
Yeah, she always had. She wouldn't leave the house without makeup on or her handbag over her arm, and I think that has definitely instilled into me.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, Charlotte, you've been an amazing guest on our Wedflics show. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's been lovely to chat bridal. So thank you.
It has, hasn't it? It's been great. I felt like I've had an appointment in the boutique. I think when you describe your boutique, it comes to life, and that's definitely happened for me. I've got a vision in my head of what it's like, and I think a lot of people will too. So yeah, brides-to-be, please check out Charlotte's website and go and see her and get your amazing dress. British made.
Thank you.